Hello everybody, my name is Cassie Dove and I want to say welcome to everyone, including school administrators, school principals, and administrative staff and IT staff. Thank you and welcome. This is my presentation to an intuitive, collaborative tool for teachers and administrators called TBox Planet. Hello everybody, my name is Cassie Dove. I want to say welcome to school administrators, school principals, administrative staff, and also the IT staff. Thank you and welcome. This is my presentation to an intuitive collaboration tool for teachers and students called TBox Planet. As a teacher and a parent, I have encountered and worked with many different types of tools working with the classroom, the students, the administrative staff, and teachers. There really isn't a way to fully collaborate and bring it all together, so I wanted to find a tool that would be intuitive and bring the whole platform together. A one-stop shop for all the administrative personnel, teachers, and students, and that's what TBox Planet does. As a teacher and a parent, I've encountered and worked with many different types of tools, working with the classroom, the students, the administrative staff, and other people, and there's really no way to collaborate and bring it all together. So what I wanted to do was find a tool that would be intuitive and bring your whole platform together and make just a one-stop shop for all administrative personnel, all teachers, all parents, and all students. And that's what TBox Planet does. In our school district, we utilize PowerSchool and some other school products that try to bring together the classroom, the student, the teacher, and the administrator. They don't bring everything together and collaborate in the classroom. I do see a great issue with how students can collaborate outside the classroom. Say they're going for an extended period of time, or say they're studying elsewhere. There needs to be a way for the student to collaborate and stay in touch with the classroom when they're not there. In our school district, we've utilized PowerSchool and some other school products that have tried to bring together the classroom, the student, the teacher, the administrator. But it doesn't seem to collectively bring everything together. And I do see a great issue with how students can collaborate outside of the classroom. Say if they're gone for an extended period of time, or say they're studying elsewhere. There needs to be a way for our students to be able to collaborate and stay in tune with what's happening in the classroom when they're not there. So let's talk about TBox School. TBox School is one of the products that TBox Planet encompasses. There are a few different products, and we can talk about that in a little bit. TBox is a tool that manages your school right over the Internet. Tasks such as students' records creation, management of score management, student attendance, parent-teacher communication, and among others are handled right here on the TBox platform. So let's talk about TBox School. TBox School is one of the products that TBox Planet encompasses. They have a few different products that we can talk about later, but TBox School is a tool that helps you manage your school right over the Internet. All right, and there's a few different ways to host it, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But tasks such as student records creation, modification, score management on tests, student attendance lists, and parent-teacher communication, among others, are handled right here on the TBox platform. Now, what is TBox and why is it such an awesome innovation? Why haven't we heard about it yet? TBox is a solution that promotes and potentially creates responsible and safe use of technology in the classroom. How many of us as teachers have let our students use their iPads or other computer devices in the classroom and stepped behind them and found them to be on sites they were not supposed to be visiting? TBox manages all this and lets you see what all your students are doing. Now, what is TBox School and why is it such an awesome innovation? And why haven't most of you heard about it yet? Well, TBox is a solution that promotes and potentially creates all responsible and safe use of technology. How many of us as teachers have actually let students use their iPads or computers in the classroom, and then you happen to step behind them and you see that they're not really paying attention, or they're on sites that you're really not comfortable with them using, or they're not just supposed to be there. TBox manages all this. It gives you a one-stop area to look and see what all your students are doing. The neatest things we have seen like a product like TBox is the fact it brings together education and technology in a seamless way. They have educational technology curriculums, K-12, and includes all the materials necessary to implement all your solutions effectively, teacher's guides, student workbooks, and all your electronic resources, and more. One of the neatest things that we have seen through a product like TBox is the fact that it brings together education and technology in a nice, seamless way. They have an educational technology curriculum that is for every school, K through 12, every school grade, and this includes all the materials that would be necessary to implement all your solutions effectively. It gives you teacher's guides, student workbooks, homework, electronic resources, and more. TBox is hosted on TBox Planet, the internet platform for students, teachers, and parents. The platform is hosted on a Web 2.0 platform that facilitates all communications, collaboration between every member of your educational community. Is hosted on TBox Planet, just to make sure there's some clarity there. The internet platform that has multiple services for students, teachers, parents, and administrators is hosted on the platform that's called TBox Planet. All right, this is based on Web 2.0 technologies, all right, that make it easier to communicate, collaborate, and exchange between every member of the educational community with all types of security implemented. What I often hear about new innovations and new technologies being introduced into the classroom is how teachers are going to be trained and accepting of the new technologies. TBox does include a training and assistance for IT instructors and teachers. TBox also works closely with schools to train teachers and provide expert advice and monitor project progress. So, if you're not going to jump in and ensure everyone is going to be trained on this innovation, they are going to train the change agents, you, to ensure this innovation is integrated into the classroom. What I often hear from new innovations and new technologies being introduced into the classroom is how the teachers are going to warm up to it. How are they going to be trained? How are they going to be integrated into this new system? And how are they going to be accepting of new technologies? Well, TBox does include training and assistance for IT instructors and teachers, all right, and they work closely with schools not only to train the teachers, but provide expert advice and monitor all their projects if they need it. So they're not going to jump in and make sure that everybody is educated on this. They're going to start from the top down, which means you, as change agents, need to ensure that this is going to be accepted by our teachers, all right, and integrated into these classrooms. One of my favorite things about TBox is it starts making the students responsible for their own learning. Once a student enters into college, they get introduced to Blackboard, Angel, and other applications that keep them responsible for assignments that are suited for the older student. TBox starts to introduce them to the grades in real time and a snapshot of their performance. They can check their attendance, permissions, and access their classes and exam schedules. They can read school news, consult the new skill calendar, and to find out when that school dance is. They can check on the agreements and discussions that had taken place between the parent and the teacher meetings, and it can check on them right there. Start using TBox. Well, the reason TBox is so good for teachers is it not only keeps track of student attendance and their permissions, all right, it sets the score calculation formulas for each subject and each chapter. And as a teacher, I know how important this is because you can get so tied up in all the formulas and everything like that that has to do with every single assignment. It also assigns different ratings or percentages to each of the evaluated components. It also helps you schedule, as a teacher, parent-teacher meetings, and they can do it online. They consult students' electronic records right immediately. You can actually see what happened last year, as long as the records are present. You can actually see how that student is performing in other courses to see if there potentially is an issue with the student. All right. You can access news, calendars, and administrative school documents, and there's nothing more important. It's right there, one-stop shopping. One of my favorite things about TBox is it's starting to incorporate our students for being responsible for their learning. Once students head into college, they get to be introduced to Blackboard, Angel, other online platforms that are essentially suited for the older student. All right, but TBox actually kind of starts into this whole realm, and what it does is it gives them a look into what their grades in real time, and it provides them a snapshot of how their performance is for all their courses. It also lets them check their attendance record and see what their permissions are, and they can access their class and exam schedule. So the teacher will no longer have to continuously repeat when things are due, all right, and the student's actually starting to get responsibility for what is due and their homework and everything that's responsible for them in the class. They can read school news and consult the school calendar right then and there. When's the school dance? They consult any agreements or propositions which have taken place in the parent-teacher meetings. So what actually happens when the parents and the teachers meet and they talk about how to improve the students, it actually is communicated to the student right there. Us as teachers, we are used to meeting with parents that give us a blank look and say they had no idea what was going on with their grades, attendance, and homework. As parents, they can have access to their children's electronic school records. They can see their child's grade in real time, including the math test that was just taken this afternoon, and proving them with a snapshot of their performance. Parents can check the school news and consult the calendar of what's coming up and obtain their child's exam schedule. They can also receive invitations for parent-teacher meetings right there. Us as teachers, we're used to meeting with these parents and the parents looking blankly at us and saying, I had no idea. I had no idea my child missed so much school. I had no idea what was going on with their homework. I had no idea what the exam schedule was. Well, this tool, TBox for School, is essentially really great for parents because it opens up that communication. They can access their children's electronic school record, everything. Everything that the child is responsible for, everything that the school actually can post. They can view a detailed compendium of their children's grades in real time, right then and there. There's no delay. When a school grade gets entered, the parents can see it instantly. They can see what that child did on the math test that day. They can check their children's attendance record, and they can read the school news, consult the school calendar. They can look and see what is coming up for the children's exam schedule, and they can also receive invitations for those parent-teacher meetings right there. So now the question is, what can TBox do for our schools? TBox Schools allows administrative staff and teachers to access all the same information regarding schools' performance. We are all seeing the same thing. Schools can save money. There's no need to purchase technology infrastructure needed, such as servers or specialized programs. No need for that. The information is stored on high-tech servers which back up all the school's data. TBox School is accessed via the Internet, allowing users anytime, anywhere access to this program, allowing all major operating systems and web browsers to access it. TBox can be tailored for each school and available in English and Spanish. TBox provides training and assistance whenever needed. We can divide each school into semesters, trimesters, and quarters as we see fit. Teachers can change the formula for each school subject as needed. Now the big question is, what can TBox do for our schools? TBox not only allows administrative staff and teachers to access real-time information on students and the administrative and the teachers, but it also promotes a dynamic and transparent school management. So we all see the same thing. Teachers, administrators, everybody sees the same thing. Schools can save money as there's no need to purchase any additional technology. All right, no servers, no specialized programs. The information is securely stored, of course, on servers which regularly back up all your school's information, all your students' information. TBox is accessed via the Internet, which allows users anytime, anywhere to access this program. It runs on all major operating systems and web browsers collectively. TBox can also be tailored to the needs of our schools and is available in English and Spanish. TBox provides training and technology assistance whenever it's needed. All right, and the school year can also be divided into what we want, and since our schools are collectively summer and trimesters, summer and quarters, it can be configured to be in that direction. They can customize a formula to evaluate all the school subjects, and it can be also trickled down and customized by each teacher. One of the biggest challenges that any technology innovation or new technology has is not only the acceptance from the students, teachers, and staff, is the support of the IT staff. The IT department, while they don't have much to do with the TBox, they record and manage user accounts. However, they already do that in PowerSchool, so we would transfer data about those users into the new system. IT would create and manage each grade level and section within the school. IT would also have access to statistical reports with up-to-date information. One of the biggest challenges that any technology innovation has is not only the acceptance by the teachers and the acceptance by the parents and the students to utilize this innovation, is also the support from the IT staff. All right. The IT department, while they don't have a tremendous amount to do with TBox, they record and manage all the user accounts. So that will be a new responsibility for the IT staff. But they do that through PowerSchool anyway, so we'd just be transporting over the user accounts. We would create and manage each grade and section within the school, and that would be divided up. And they would also have access to statistical reports with all the up-to-date information. We talked about it before, the teacher not knowing what the student is looking at during the class time if faced with the other direction. The online collaboration tool for teachers is an important tool as they can collaborate in real time together. Teachers can communicate through the live chat function with teachers, parents, and teachers. And administrators can communicate with teachers in real time, which is exceptional. How many times has your classroom been interrupted at the worst possible moment because Johnny Blue needs to go home and his mom is here? It can all be done in chat in real time. Parents and teachers can have conferences anytime. Parents also are not available for conferences often, so they can have real-time chat anytime on TBox. We talked about before the teacher not knowing what the student is looking at when they're looking at their tablet or their computers when they're faced the other direction, and I've seen this happen a lot in the classroom. The online collaboration tool for these teachers is essential because the teachers can collaborate with each other real time. They could communicate through live chat, so they could talk within their classrooms with their teachers, parents, and teachers, and the administrators can communicate with teachers in real time, which is exceptional. How many times have we been interrupted, the worst possible moment, because Johnny Blue needs to go home. The mom's here. So all this stuff can be done through the TBox online component. All right, and parents and teachers can have conferences anytime. There is an awful lot of parents who cannot show up for parent-teacher conferences. It's just not convenient. So they can collaborate and chat whenever need be. Let's talk about how TBox came to be with the whole innovation process. TBox started with a look at other school products and research what the schools actually wanted and needed. They started to design the back end and started to market it all in South America. They started to distribute TBox in those schools and train the administrators and teachers, and they started utilizing the tool, and it took off like wildfire. Let's talk about how TBox came to be in the whole innovation process. TBox started looking at the other collaborative environments within schools and started researching and finding out what semblances like PowerSchool were really missing in programs that try to collaborate and bring all the teachers and the administrators all together. So they started the design process, and they started to work and see what schools wanted, and they started designing this whole element that would be everything, it would collaborate everything. And then they brought it to their production team, and they started creating the back end for what became TBox. They started to market it. Obviously, there's a huge proponent of these programs down in South America, and so a lot of their marketing was done in that area. And then distribution, of course, once one school district started implementing it, they started talking, and before they knew, it was kind of taking off like wildfire. They started the whole training process, and the more teachers you have trained, the more the teachers were starting to use it, and the more administrators are starting to support it. And again, it just took off like wildfire. To purchase the tool that will essentially tool the administrators and collaborate can be of a different cost structure. TBox can be hosted remotely, thereby reducing the cost considerably. TBox can also be hosted on a site with the IT district offering support and training. There's also an option for administrators to have a one-week training on site, as well as training for teachers in a one-school work in-house day that essentially help the teachers and administrators collaborate. There are different licensing agreements that can be spoken with the managerial types at TBox, but the cost of implementing TBox itself can be dramatically reduced if it's hosted remotely. All right, and there is the whole licensing software application is just essentially removed. TBox can be hosted also on site, and then we're talking about bringing in licensing agreements through the district, and IT support can be trained or provided for on-site support. There can be training for administrators, okay, which is 1 week training on site. They come to us, and also training for teachers on site for 1 teacher workshop day. You, as administrators, need to be the change agents. You need to drive this innovation, so it takes off and brings everything together. This includes all principals, support staff, counselors, and district personnel, and they should be trained initially. Administrators need to be the trainers in order to encourage the innovation. There's nothing more exciting than the administrator or teacher being excited about something new in the classroom and sharing this excitement. Once implemented, administrators need to support and encourage the implementation of the new system. This cannot be the newest nightmare to hit the classroom. It has to be the grandest idea ever to hit the classroom. You as administrators need to be the change agents. You need to drive this innovation so it takes off and it brings everything together. Right? That includes all the principals, the support staff, our counselors, our district personnel. Everyone, all of you, need to be trained initially. The administrators will need to be the trainers in order to encourage this type of innovation. There's nothing more exciting than an administrator or a teacher being excited about something new and then sharing that excitement and then it just taking off. Once implemented, administrators need to support and encourage the implementation. It can't be the newest nightmare that walks into the classroom. This must be the grandest idea that ever hit the classroom. Why should our local schools accept TBox? Many parents find that the whole teacher-parent time is limited. There isn't collaboration with all the parties, as parents really don't have that sort of time, unless they stand behind their student at all times and make sure the students are staying on track. Administrators can communicate absences to parents, whether the student has been sent home, and all sorts of collaboration that is essential. So why should our local schools adopt TBox? Well, many parents find that the whole teacher-parent time is limited, and there's just not enough communication. All right, communications can suffer, the students can suffer. There's just no collaboration unless the parent actively involves themselves in the schools all the time, and a lot of parents do not have that kind of time to get involved in the schools to stand behind the student, make sure they've completed their schoolwork, or make sure they're not falling behind. Administrators can communicate the absences, the students when they're sent home, and other issues in real time. Students can contribute to classwork if sick or at home and for some reason missing their class time. It is that kind of strength of a collaborative tool that is essential. What standards does TBox base itself on? TBox bases its academic proposal on international technology standards. Not only what's going on in our country, not only what's going on in the state of Maine, not only what is happening in our district, but those international educational technology standards. base itself on. And we all have our standards, and we all need to focus on teaching to these standards. But TBox bases its academic proposal on international education technology standards. So not only what's going on here in the United States, not only what's going on here in the state of Maine, not only what's going on here within our county, but they reach further. TBox is based on the following international educational and technology standards. The standards that TBox incorporates is NETS, International Society for Technology and Education, but Cambridge Starter Standards from Cambridge University. They also incorporate Microsoft Office Specialist Standard and from Microsoft and Adobe Certified Standard from Adobe and Certiport. The standards that TBox incorporates are NETS from the International Society for Technology and Education, Cambridge ICT Standards, which is the starter standard from Cambridge University, Microsoft Office Specialist Standard from Microsoft, and Adobe Certified Associate Standard from Adobe and Certiport. So now I ask you, why would we not move forward and look forward to something like TBox? What should we do? Can we move forward with something like this? Can we do a beta test run within our schools? How can you use as change agents, you as administrators, move forward and promote this innovation? How can you as champions, and how can I as your champion, lead this innovation so it does work and get implemented in our schools? What can we do next? So now I ask you, why would we not move forward and look at something like TBox? Why would we not move forward and implement such an innovation like this? What do you think? What should we do? Can we move forward on something like this? Can we do a beta test run within our schools? How can you as change agents, you as administrators, move forward and promote this innovation? And how can I be the champion to lead this innovation so it does work in our schools? Before I say thank you, and I really appreciate all your time listening and watching this presentation, I do want to recommend you look at TBox Planet, www.tboxplanet.com. Look around, see what the different products they have available, and I look forward to hearing what our next move is. Thank you. Before I say thank you, and I appreciate all your time that you've spent listening to this and watching the presentation, I do want to recommend that you all go to TBox Planet to look around, see what the different innovative processes and products that they have available. It is an exceptional company, and I look forward to hearing what our next move is. Thank you.